Okay, see what we got here. I'm gonna proceed on with this. I want to say great day to everyone. Um, Reverend Wally Kevin, and when I mean Reverend Wally Kevin, I'm saying it in a sense of reverence, which means I reverence the womb that bore me, that gave me life. So that be the case, I want to not talk about this morning at this wee hour of the day of being motivated, uh, being motivated, and and being preserved um, in your motivation, in the face of hardships. Yes, the foundational scripture that I'm going to use in that regard will be 2 Corinthians 5:2. And I'm going to turn to that right now. 2 Corinthians 5:2 in the English Bible. I'm just using this to communicate to a specific group of people, or yes, that's all. So what does that say? 2 Corinthians 5:2. Because I will use the Hosea for the so-called conscious community. I will take something from the teachings of Islam. I will take some teachings of Buddha. I will take some teachings of Hindu, because when I say that, when I use the term reverence, because I'm all about reverential treatment, but when I deal with that term, is I've tried to do my best to practice syncretism, which means I reverence all the faiths, and I study the value of nature, or the value in them, and pull from it thereof, so that we can tap into our common humanity. Yes, so that we can tap into our common humanity. Yes, well, what does this verse says? I do not have long, but yes, it says, "For we must appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that every one may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad." Now, there should be no schisms in the body, no distrust, no animosity, nothing that condemns the body. Fact about it, who are we to judge one's convictions? Yes. So it says there is no condemnation. If you look at a building, you don't condemn the building. If you look at some of our activities in life, the activity that we participate in based upon our behavior was condemned, but that what people call God, he did not condemn us. He did not condemn, because if a building is condemned, you destroy it. Yes. What happens is that we wind up destroying ourselves. We wind up destroying ourselves. So it says that we must subdue. Get get ourselves together and get our thinking and our behavior under control. And remember that circumstances makes us other than ourselves. We think of the word appear. You can go to we'll deal with an appearance too. We said we all will appear. We all appear. We know that everything ain't what it what it seems to be. Everything ain't what it seems to be. People can give outward appearance and pretend to be something that they not, and that's really not who they are. For the most part, once a person find out who they actually is, they may not like it, and due to social comparisons and due to us being pushed to be something that we are not. In fact, we take a role that we are not even qualified to be in, and which is very suicidal. And I'm not trying to show any disregards or disrespect. All praise be to God for those who have these mental and psychological breakdowns. What I'm trying to say is that there are people who are in positions of so-called authority and power, and they're really not qualified to be there. And then therefore it creates an environment where, which is, I say, people dealing with mental, emotional homicide. Yes, spiritual, mental suicide, emotional homicide, and spiritual genocide, which means cutting through the life force of who we are. When it comes to tapping into our common humanity, that which will ensure cooperation and trust. Yes. So, but in the book of Ezekiel, I think is 1:26 through 28. We can read that right now, if you may, and then I'm going to go back to 2 Corinthians 5:10, because I'm dealing with appearance right now. Appearance. Okay, I'm gonna read that, and you all do your own research and understanding of that particular what I'm sharing with you right now in your own way, because I realize that whatever spirit that's in you and whatever it is that you have been through in life, whatever it is that you need to help you get through whatever it is that you're going through, that's between you and you and God. It's between you and God. Yes, it is. So what it says is in this Ezekiel 1:26 through 28, it says here that and above the firmament that was over the heads was the likeness of a throne. There again is the word of likeness, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne a seat of power, a sapphire, a jewel, was the likeness, as the appearance of a man above it, the appearance of a man upon it, I should say. And I saw the color of amber. For me, color means virtue, as the appearance of fire, and we know that fire refines about within. So there needs to be a fire of refining within, and we're still talking about trying to dealing with how to be motivated and preserve at least our faith, or one's faith, and during times of hardship. Yes, the subject matter, the words may change, but the subject stays the same. Okay, yes. An appearance of his loins, even upward. We're still going upward. Upward is that which is vertical. Upward means that which encourages you. You know what I'm saying? In the midst of staying motivated, remaining motivated, preserving the faith in times of hardship. and from the appearance of his lawns even downward. Now, we use the word upward. Now we're going downward, back and forth, back and forth. Upward and downward. It also could take on a form of vacillation, but it also could take on a form of something that is upward, that was upward is coming downward, and that which was downward now is becoming upward. Yes, like they say, ascending and descending, ascending and descending. And I liken it into when inspiration comes down, one's aspiration goes up. Yes, a fire, and it had brightness around it. There is a teaching that says that a prayer that I like to use it, that you are the light surrounds you, the light is in you, you are the light, and light is knowledge, So as the appearance of a bow, and a bow is associated sometimes in when you shooting and you aim the mark as an archer shooting at something, and the target its aim is accountability. I always say that when people talk about sin, it's shatah, Hebrew term, to miss the mark, and that's lack of accountability. So yes, it's about accountability. Appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in that day. Day represents warmth of rain. So was the appearance of the brightness round about. It was a warm feeling. Yes, it was a warm feeling. It was a consulting feeling. It was a feeling of concern about preserving or even your energy when it comes to being properly motivated, and when it comes to your faith in times of hardship. Was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord, and when I saw it, I fell. We're all going to come to a point where we don't have to worship something. Why not worship the Creator who created this universe? Then again, why did things have to be created? Why not things have to be transformed? Because nothing dies. All it does is reserve. And that is the energy that takes on another form. So may we not lose, you know what I'm saying? Our energy becomes depleted. And when your energy becomes depleted, it becomes depressed. So we have to conserve our energy. And when we conserve our energy, that means that sometimes we don't let things get to us in the manner, in the way that it used to get to us. Because our energy, each breath that we take is vital. It is very important in times of hardship, as we remain properly motivated in our faith. Upon my face, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one spoke. Now we see that in that wise, when one spoke, it is a voice. Now it has something to do with a mental or it's another word I want to use. In the manner way which one's which one speak. Yes, mental or oral form of communication. Yes, that's it. There's a Hebrew word called dabar, mental and oral communication. Yes, and remember, when you have understanding, when you have balance, understanding speaks clearly. And remember also, when people talk about God, depict him as a physical being only, but it's only in terms. And in those terms, it's for a moment. In time, as it pertains to one's reality, because I think God is a thought that materializes from one's mind. Now, at times, people can be very delusional, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to their understanding about God. It is where you are mentally, as it pertains to your reality. But I'm not saying that the reality has been given to you by a conjecturer or a master magician. But I'm talking about your reality. And I mean your reality, I mean the manner and way in which we communicate as a family, our humanity, when it comes to order, when it comes to duty, and it becomes responsibility. Now, God transcends space and time. God transcends space and time. You know, there is no limitations when it comes to God. There is no limitations. That's why we offer concrete solutions to abstract problems, because that which we think we found when it comes to God, we have not found, but that you found him in your reality, in your time. You see what I'm saying? Now somebody found God in their reality and in their time. You see. So let us remember that that which we call God is not concrete, but that which we call God is abstract. Yes, let's be clear with that. Yep. And because what happened is that when we come up with the concrete and that which is abstract, then people say that they are God. They act as if they are God. And then they justify, they say in the Bible, say that we are gods. That's very Greek. It's Greek mythology, really. And that's the problem with humanity. People in the positions, and they think that they are that they can speak from the authority of God. Yes. Okay. So, but yes, like from 1 hour from now, we'll be at another hour. Therefore, it is difficult to comprehend, and thus confine God. To confine God, the existence of God, when God is beyond, before, after, and will always forever be. So that says something to us, how we must forever conserve our energy and be able to work through and be properly motivated in these times of hardship. Now, in this book, 2 Corinthians 5:10, as it pertains to being properly motivated in the faith during times of hardship, I'm going to look at this passage of scripture again, and we're going to go to it. 5:10. It says, "For we all must appear." Yes, we all must appear. Now, remember, we want to be in a position where that we are always being transformed. We are always being nourished. You know what I'm saying? Whereas that our emotions is being cherished, it is being nourished, it is being transformed, because we are not as emotional. We have more controls over our emotions now than we did probably 5, 10, or 20 years ago, because of the level of maturity that we have during even in our hardships, and remaining and holding on to the faith, and as it pertains to now of a sense of maturity that we have. And that's why I like to promote the maturation process that consists of understanding, tolerance, temperance, confidence, temperance/temperament, confidence, and respect. So, and we know that our physical appearances change too. You know what I'm saying? Then we want to always nourish and cherish the nature of our spiritual growth, our spiritual development, and our spiritual walk. Because all I'm saying is that these are things that we are going to appear before the seat of judgment, or the seat of Christ. How you treat someone, you know what I'm saying? But the main objective to all this, and you change your thinking, but the main objective to all this is that what's going to be, what we're going to appear or be in judgment, or appear before this judgment seat of Christ. And Christ is a state of development through the process of spiritual consciousness. This consciousness, this development of our consciousness. It says, and we may receive the things done in His body. In His body. You know what I'm saying? In His body. The things that we have even done to our body. You know what I'm saying? Just want to make it real. Remember, said there is no condemnation, there is no schisms. You know what I'm saying? in the body, that we must be careful to trust the process. Um, uh, if we are believers of the faith, but we should not be suspicious of each other, you know. And if someone, needs you or calls you, do your best to be there for them. Don't put them under a spell of an illusion that you say that you are for them and with them, and then that you're not. And that's why in the marriage vows they say, for better or worse, or better or worse, thick and thin or what have you. These are vows. These are vows that they made and that they need to live up to. So yes, so these are certain things that we need to live up to because we're going to appear, and even how we do business with one another, in the society in which we live, and how it has contaminated us. People want you to pay on interest. You know what I'm saying? That's not, godlike in the purest form, if I may use that. That is laws that man make up so that he can profit off you, And we know the story of they call Christ, who went into the temple and dealt with the money changers. The manner and way in which people do business is not. It's very improper. It is very exploiting, and people tend to follow those rules because if someone makes the law, that does not mean that the law is right because they made the law. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so on that day, what's happening is there is an evaluation. We're being evaluated. As Socrates or Plato, one of them says, an examined life is not a life worth living at all. So what is being evaluated is the way that, in the manner and way in which we have made amends. Yes, made amends with our wives, that we have made amends with ourselves too, that we have made amends with what we call God, that we made amends with our daughter, that we made amends with our father, that we have made amends with our sisters, that we have made amends with our brothers, that we have made amends. Yes, this is what is being evaluated. Yes, and that which will follow, will be taken up. It will be taken up. And this is evidence that will be taken up, and that which people call rapture. This will be taken up as evidence that taken up that we must give account of as it pertains to recompense. Yes, to make amends. Yes, this is what people say. The very rapture is what we see. It is taken up. It's being taken up. It's taken into account. Yes, that we have made amends and a sincere effort. And when you make a sincere effort, the effort must be synthesized unto a useful purpose. And in that purpose, it is designed for us to not to reflect carelessness, to be sympathetic and show empathy for and toward one another, and not to have a spirit of apathy. So I say, and I must say, that when we're talking about trying to please your Lord, that which transforms you emotionally, spiritually, and even in your thinking, it nourishes you. We want to cherish the moment, the time, and one another, and not make a mockery. We want to say, well done. Want to hear that. We was able to make amends. And one with another and with self, with our family, with our sisters, with our brothers. we are under evaluation because this universe is a test. Then we learn the lesson. But the school system, they give us the lesson first, and then we take the test. This opposite. This universe is a learning environment. It's a test, and the blessing comes when you learn the lesson. How can the body become healed if it's condemned? How can the body come healed? How can the family become healed if there is mistrust, animosity, chaos, confusion, corruption? How can the mind become healed? There's chaos, corruption, contamination, confusion. How can it be healed? Under evaluation, and we will appear before the judgment seat. This is what this is talking about, how to be preserved when it comes to one's faith, preserve in the face of hardship. And to be properly motivated him is to just to be preserved in one's faith in the face of hardship. It's to make amends is something that must motivate us. It is a faithful charge in one's ministry and one's service and one's commitment to self to bring out the greater good and the best, and finding one's common humanity and share it abroad. First start in finding the common humanity within yourself. Until next time, Rem Walimu, Kevin, teachers of teachers, preachers of preachers. And may God grant you success for your labor, joy for your sorrows. Talk to you.